Hi, it's Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. I've had some requests on my YouTube channel for some mail cards, and because it's Father's Day this weekend in Australia, I thought I'd take you through some Father's Day cards. I have made a free printable that you can get over on my blog with the Father's Day sentiments. They could also be used for your dad's birthday. These sentiments I've chosen to complement the Stamperia papers called Forest, and these are perfect for mail cards or mail scrapbooking layouts. I'm not saying that they couldn't be used for female scrapbooking layouts as well, but they certainly do lend themselves towards some mail cards. So I thought that I would use my sentiments, and then I saw this beautiful eagle page, and I know that my husband really likes eagles. I thought maybe I might use an eagle theme. Honestly, there's so many possibilities with this paper pack. It was hard to decide what to use. So I just began by cutting up my sentiments, and I printed them on white cardstock. Later on I was thinking maybe I should have printed them on craft cardstock because they're very white compared to the papers, but I ended up just trying to reduce the whiteness with inking them and splattering them with ink and painting them. So it's up to you. You could print them onto craft paper or a cream paper if you wanted to, or you could do what I did and try to reduce some of that whiteness. The paints I'm using in this video are by Prima. They are Art Alchemy Sparks acrylic paint, and the three colours I used were Chest of Gold and Fairy Wings, which is the green one, and Unicorn's Hair, which is the gold one, and Chest of Gold is the copper coloured paint. I had a lovely time adding some paint to these cards to give them a bit more of a mixed media arty kind of look. I ended up making a set of 4 cards, even though the potential to make more was certainly there. But they took me quite a while to make because they were a little bit different to what I've been making lately, so it did take me, I don't know, maybe 4 hours altogether to make these cards. I made 2 the first time, and then I made another 2 the second time. So the first 2 I used a dark green cardstock base, and the second 2 I used a dark brown cardstock base. So I used some of the green paint, which is called Fairy Wings, to go around the edges of these cards to add some more sparkle and some more mixed media effect. And then I used some of the Stamperia Musk 3D effect, and it was in the dark green. And I also used a Stamperia stencil, a media stencil, and the number is CM20X25. But unfortunately, when I was doing the stenciling, the camera phone, my iPhone battery had died and I didn't realize, so I don't actually have the mixed media stencil part on the video. I'm very sorry about that, but I didn't realize that the camera had died while I was busy creating. So here you can see how the stencil is now on the card, and it really does give a fabulous effect to the card. So here I'm just layering up these papers to create the eagle card. I've used some of the tags, and I found this old bit of gold rope that perfectly went with these cards, which I just threaded through the hole. I also had some burlap strips that I added to each card for texture, and I used a lot of recycled cardboard. In this card I used nappy white boxes for my recycled cardboard, and this saves me a lot of money on mounting tape. So here I'm just layering up these bits of a picture, and you could use this with any papers in your stash. You don't have to have these Stamperia papers, but if you do, well, this would be a perfect card tutorial for some of your Stamperia papers. My husband actually really loves eagles, and I thought I'd be a kind wife and make him a Father's Day card this year. So here I'm just adding on some of the unicorn's hair paint to give it a little bit more sparkle. And I'm using a lot of the recycled cardboard. These cards are really very chunky. I actually really like this sentiment the best. It's got the heavy swirl around the outside of the circle. After that, I just went through and added in some more ripped up pieces of cardboard showing the corrugated side to just give a little bit more texture. And I also found some little chipboard wood veneer things in my stash that I added in for embellishments. Finally, I found some really old sticky dots by Craft that I just added in to just give a little bit more embellishment to the card, and that is the card complete. So you can see there are lots and lots of chunky layers. There's just one sheet on the inside. I hope that that's masculine enough. Moving on to the second card now. Decided to make them all eagle cards. I was originally going to do a fish card and a deer card, but I ended up doing a set of eagle cards. And I just did this exactly the same way. I just built it up with some recycled cardboard. I created a ripped edge for extra texture and extra interest on the card. And then I just layered them all together. So you really don't need a lot of paper to create these cards. just added some more of those little embellishments, and I found some metal embellishments in my stash that I thought worked well with the card. There was actually quite a bit of stash busting done with this set of cards as I dug into an old box of supplies. I found some old Casograph tags that I used. And just lots and lots of corrugated cardboard. Then I glued everything down. I found a little chipboard accent and a little metal accent to add into the card for some embellishment. Then I just added some of the paint again around the edges of the layers. This paint has a really nice shimmer to it when it dries. It dressed up the corrugated cardboard quite a bit, gave it a little bit more of a magical feel to the card. Moving on to the next two cards now, I chose a chocolate brown card base and some different papers from the same forest paper pad. This time I did not use the mixed media musk 3D effect and the stencil because I already cleaned it all up from the last time, so I didn't use the stencil this time, but I actually prefer the stencil cards in the collection. But the papers are really amazing. There's so much texture and design in the papers. I really enjoyed using them. So just cutting out some more eagles, following on with the eagle theme for these cards, and a sentiment for each card. So you can see here, I'm just following the same principles that I used to create the other two cards, just lots of layering of the Stamperia forest papers onto the recycled cardboard and then onto some more paper. So it's quite simple sort of layering technique. It's just sort of balancing the picture of the eagle, making sure that you can kind of see the eagle and where to put the sentiment. I added in another one of those Casograph tags, and I ripped the paper on the corner just to sort of make it a little bit more interesting, get away from just a square look. When I paste the papers down onto the cardboard, I let some of the corrugated cardboard hang over the papers. It's quite a bit of fiddling around with the layering, but it's quite an effective technique, I think, to build up a card. And mail cards can be very, very tricky to create because we don't have any flowers and we don't have any butterflies to use, so we have to think a little bit differently. tags are a good embellishment for mail cards because you can add a rope or a bit of wool or something in through the hole of the tag, and that gives something else for the card. Just adding in some more of those little embellishments. Two at the top and two at the bottom in a line, or you can do 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. Just adding in one more wooden paper clip. Just try to find the right spot for that paper clip to go. And some more paint on all of the edges of the layers. And then moving on to the final card, just adding some of that rope through the tag. A little metal embellishment. I think it's a clock. Another one of those wooden veneer paper clips, which are very neutral. They're not, they easily can be used for a masculine card. We've got a compass. Just trying to pick out all of the masculine things from my stash that I can use as embellishments. A little bit more of the hessian or the burlap strip at the back, gluing everything down, and some paint edges. And that's the completed set of 4 Father's Day cards. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I'd be interested to know what you think. Is this something that you want to see on my channel, more mail cards? If that's right, you need to leave me a comment below so that I know. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel, and I hope you have a lovely crafty day.